In most industries, if you have a 10% price advantage over your competition will fail. You'll probably buy them out or they'll go bankrupt. It's one or the other. If you have a 50% advantage over your competition, well, you'll kill them within a very short period of time. 12 months, 24 maximum, depending on how aggressive you are. Have a look at what Amazon have done to thousands of businesses all over the world. But if you have more than a 50% advantage, well, it's game over. I'm not even talking about electric cars here. Tesla are, they're competing here with other companies. They have an advantage, and that may continue. I'm talking about an entirely new market. I'm talking about a market that is emerging right now and will be one of the biggest industries in the world, providing hundreds of billions of profit every year. Tesla has begun to move away from only selling and making profit from electric cars. That's its main profit stream. But after its first quarter earnings results, we saw that that's starting to change. One of the reasons is the fact that they now have 45,000 electric chargers. And if you combine this with their recent news of Tesla's brand new Megafactory in China, you can start to see a picture of what Elon Musk is thinking and where Tesla is going, where they plan on making billions in profit. Now, there is a market in the US of around $50 billion per year selling gasoline. Where do you think that market will be in 10 years' time from now? Do you still think they'll be making $50 billion a year from selling gasoline? Or will it move to selling electricity? Now, the batteries are a key component to this strategy that Tesla plans on deploying. And I think people are completely overlooking just how smart this strategy actually is. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Tesla recently hit a milestone of 45,000 superchargers installed worldwide. Now, this announcement was posted on Tesla's Twitter account, so it is official. That's a real number. What is actually quite incredible about this fact is that Tesla said only 5 months ago it had installed 40,000 superchargers. 5 months later, they have 5,000 more. That's 1,000 installations per month. Is anyone talking about this? I mean, if you go on a website like, say, Seeking Alpha, where they say that they're professional investors and they know everything about a car company, why is it that they never ever mention this information? I haven't seen this anywhere. I haven't seen them saying this is an addressable market that Tesla is looking at going into, and they've set themselves up to make a profit from this market. They have. This is key here. This is an impressive number, and it means it's possibly the biggest network in the world. The accelerated build-out of the supercharger network is key to Tesla's charging system for not only Tesla vehicles, but also non-Tesla vehicles. Now, Tesla have kind of, made this sound like they reluctantly enabled people to have the ability to charge their non-Tesla EVs at their network. But the truth is, I think Tesla was all for it. It was just waiting for the right time to use this in order to get funding. And it makes sense. Why wouldn't they? It's unfair that Tesla should be prevented from getting funding. So in the US, they've now said to the Biden administration, we'll open the supercharger network up. And as a result, they get a big share in the billions of dollars in funding that are going to companies building out supercharger networks. But the thing is here, Tesla have a pretty significant advantage. We discovered from documents from the Texas government, I don't know who it was, but some part of the government there, that it costs Tesla around about 80% less on average to install superchargers versus other companies. And the way they do it is strategically very, very intelligent. Now, I'm not going to get into the details because I'll bore you on that, but realistically, an 80% decrease in cost is substantial. But what is more substantial than that is their mega pack strategy and their strategy to also build superchargers not only in New York, where they have ramped up production, but also in China. That's massively reducing their costs by making them in New York. They're probably costing them about twice the price versus making them in China. Now, not a lot of people are aware, but back in 2021, reports from China said that Tesla had completed the construction of a dedicated supercharger factory in Shanghai. The facility is designed to produce 10,000 supercharger version 3 units per year. If you combine the two facilities, Tesla has the ability to produce around 20,000 superchargers per year. That is a huge, huge number. The other news to consider here is the fact that the Tesla version 4 superchargers have now gone into production and started to be installed in various places around the world, including Europe and North America. V4 superchargers can charge at a speed of 350 kilowatt, meaning that, compared to some chargers in China, which they say can charge at 600 kilowatt, is slow. But compared to, every other major charging network, it's lightning fast. The other big advantage, of course, of the supercharger network from Tesla, it's overlooked. They work. People say this everywhere. Every country in the world, other charging networks, problems. Don't know why. For some reason, Tesla's charging network seems to work consistently. You might find 1 out of 10 not working. Whereas at other charging networks, you might find around 50% not working, sometimes even worse. So that really is an advantage for Tesla. But the biggest advantage is not that. The biggest advantage is their cost advantage over gasoline stations. Now, gasoline stations are saying, oh, you know what? We'll just convert when we need to, when the time comes. That's what they're saying, right? We'll just convert into being an EV station. Well, yeah, you probably know that costs millions of dollars, right? The average gasoline station can't afford millions of dollars. They work on pretty thin margins. And the average station is owned actually by individuals. That's the sad part of this story. Many individuals in America will simply lose their business, or the business will be only real estate value. The reason being, if Tesla can install chargers at a cost 80% lower, they have a huge advantage. They already have the network, they have the customers, they have the app, they have the technology. There's really no hope for these mum and dad. And unfortunately, even ExxonMobil, even these big companies, even they will not be able to compete because of this. Tesla's mega charger, or even above the ground, which they can then sell at peak prices during peak hours of the day. This means they have the ability to provide electricity at least a 50% lower price while still making the same margin as their competition. Or they could sell it 10% cheaper than the competition and make potentially a 50 to 70% markup. You cannot possibly compete with that. What all of this means, Tesla is putting themselves in position to dominate this market. $50 billion per year. But that's just the United States. Tesla superchargers are not just in the US. They're in Europe. They're in Australia. They're in Canada. They're in the USA. They're in China. They're in New Zealand. They're in countries everywhere. Tesla will eventually become the largest reseller of energy for the purpose of mobility, meaning it'll essentially become the new ExxonMobil. Now, if you don't believe me, have a look at the other charging networks and tell me what they're doing to compete with this. Tell me how many chargers, V3 or V4 chargers that they're installing per month. Tell me how many batteries they're putting underneath their electricity stations. Tell me how well their networks work. Tell me if they have a captive audience already from the world's biggest selling electric car brand. Those are simply advantages that no one else have that Tesla does. Now, if you don't like Tesla or you do, it makes no difference here. I'm simply sharing the facts. Thanks for watching, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Bye-bye.